Alright, so I'm on stream at the moment, and I decided to do this on stream so I didn't have to make a whole edited video, and spend a whole bunch of time on this because that's just time I don't have. Um, but I did want to do this stream and video anyway because it's something I do every year, and it feel wrong if I didn't do it. So that being said, oh great, hold up, there we are. That being said, it's time to get started with our top 10 games of 2024. 2024, in my opinion, was a really good year for gaming, or at least on my end, it was a really good year for gaming. There are a lot of games that I played this year that I really enjoyed, and none of them I would rate below an 8 out of 10. I didn't play too. I played a decent amount of good games from this year, and I am so happy about that because if I had wasted my time with a bad game, it would have been the most unfortunate thing. Um, so yeah, let's get started. Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! There we are. All right. Okay. Cool. 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 Honorable mentions. This is pretty much bottoms out the list of like every game I've played. This is other than the top 10. This is about every game that I've played and beaten this year. Um, Planet Coaster 2. Um, is probably towards the top of this list, higher end of these honorable mentions. The thing about this game though is that as much as I love it, I have close to 100 hours in it at this point in time. As much as I love it, I physically can't put it much higher, simply because the coaster builder is so much better. I appreciate the stuff that they've done with the water park and the smoothing and whatnot. I think the pathway system is really cool. There's just a lot of things about the game that are a downgrade compared to Planet Coaster 1, like, some ride types not being there. UI, which doesn't bother me as much as it does other people, because, I play JRPGs. I'm a Xenoblade player. That doesn't bother me that much. And yeah, some other things, some other little bugs that kind of aren't But otherwise, I still think Planet Coaster 2 is a great game, just not enough to crack the top 10. Marvel vs. Capcom Fighting Collection, a game that I think, or at least a collection of games that I think is great, but because it's a collection of games that, have already been released before. Granted, they haven't been released like this in some time. They've already been released before. I decided to kind of keep them out of the top 10. Unicorn Overlord, a game with great combat, great gameplay, which is probably what gets it up here because the story is not great. It's just okay, but because of the combat and gameplay and strategic gameplay, it makes up here because that is a lot of fun and it's very addicting. Persona 3 Reload, another game that's kind of towards the lower end of these honorable mentions. Really enjoyed the game, all things considered. I think the game is great, but end of the day, it's a remake. It's a really good remake. I really had fun with it. But it's a remake. You could tell that because of how things worked when the original game was made, translating it over was very interesting. Like Tartarus, for example, from the bits and pieces that I played of OG Persona 3, Tartarus was a problem, but it's not so now. Oh my god, go away. Tartarus is a problem, but it's not so much now. It's still a problem, but not as much as it was back then. And I think all the characters are really good. I really enjoyed a lot of the characters. Probably like either at the very least top 2 main cast in the Persona franchise. So yeah, P3 Reload, great game. Stellar Blade. This is a game that I played towards the middle of the year that I think is great. I really enjoyed it. Best thing I can really say, because I think the story is okay. It's very near. It's very near in a lot of places, which is funny because I've only played like 10-15 hours of Nier Automata. In any case, I really like the combat. Combat was really fun. Music is great. Music is phenomenal. Combat was probably what carried this game this high, because man, that combat is so good. Sonic X Shadow Generations. this game is a tale of two halves because I've never played Sonic Generations. I never played that game, and I think Sonic Generations is good. It's a game that I played on stream, pissed me off. This game pissed me off thoroughly. It's the best way I can describe that. Where it felt like at times it felt like a struggle to get through Sonic Generations, whereas Shadow Generations was fun the entire 4 hours. It was the entire way. It was so good. I never got bored of it. It never gave me a headache like a decent amount of games do. That's not good. Hope my mic is still in. A decent amount of games, if I play them for long enough, they'll give me a headache. Like I gotta walk away. This doesn't do that. This is just, I think overall, just as a new package in the year that Shadow the Hedgehog has been having, it's just it's a really good game. I think it's the best way to describe it. It's just a really good game. Life is Strange Double Exposure. A whole bunch of Life is Strange fans have a problem with this game's story. I understand. Chapter 4 and 5 is very weird. And it turns into the MCU at some point. But otherwise, I think Double Exposure was really good. I've only played a decent amount of Life is Strange games. I haven't played Before the Storm, even though I own it. I haven't played Life is Strange 2. But I still really thoroughly enjoyed this game. Primarily because Max is just a great character. For me at least, I in a sense relate to Max a lot. And yeah, it's a game that people don't like it, but it's like a little bit more personal to me. That being said, I can't ignore its issues, and it's just its story is not as good as the games above it. Last honorable mention, Legendary Heroes Trails to Daybreak. The only reason why this isn't up here, this probably would have made the top 10, but I decided to exclude it from the top 10 just because this is only the English release, whereas the game has technically been out in Japan for about 3 years now. So, because of that reason, I made the decision and choice to not include it, but if it were here, it would have been, if I did, it probably would have been like number 9 or something. And then last thing I want to say is that there are a variety of games that I didn't play this year that I do own and I plan on getting to next year. I kid you not, if I look at my shelf right now, I can see Dragon Age the Veilguard, Dragon Quest III HD 2D, and East 10 Nordics sitting right there. All games that I really want to play, but because I got them towards the end of the year, Christmas time, around my birthday and whatnot, and I was playing other stuff at the time, and just don't have I don't have all the time in the world. I couldn't get around to them, but this year for sure, I plan on getting to it. I plan on getting to Dragon Quest very soon, very very soon, once I finish this game that I'm playing. Yeah, let's actually get to the top 10 now. Okay, guys, come on. There we go. Okay, all right. Okay. Please stop. Alright. Thank you. Number 10 is Tekken 8. I'm gonna try not to spend too long on these choices. Tekken 8. My first Tekken game that I played on launch. I played other Tekken games. I played Tekken 1, 2, 3, 7. None of the one. I didn't play 4, 5, or 6. Unfortunately, just don't have the. Just couldn't be bothered. No, Tekken 8 is a lot of fun. Game has its issues for sure. And gameplay wise, I have a lot of fun with Tekken 8's gameplay. I'll just consider I'm not really a 3D fighter type person. Like, I grew up on a lot of the games that I grew up on were like not even Street Fighter, but like Mortal Kombat and whatnot. And a couple other like old school fighting games like Killer Instinct. These are the games that I grew up on. But I had a parent who hated Tekken, so I never got to play this. And so playing Tekken 8 for the first time, I think it's great. Combat, I love how they emphasize aggression in this game because it's very aggressive. A lot of the characters I think are a lot of fun. Now that Clive is out, I've been having a lot of fun playing with Clive. And yeah, Tekken 8, just overall, great product. Great story that they put together. I really like it. And I can't wait to play more and see some of the updates that it gets in the future. Okay. Number 9, Astrobot, the Game of the Year winner. This is one of those things where I wasn't actually mad at Astrobot for winning the Game of the Year. Because I think this is actually the closest to a perfect game on this list. It might actually be the only perfect video game on this list. There's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with this game. It's just amazing the entire way through. It's a lot of fun. I had a non-stop smile on my face playing through the levels, raging through the levels, but playing through the levels, and finding different characters from PlayStation history was really cool and really fun. And for a little extra context, I'm not a platformer player. I don't really like platformers all that much. I've played a variety of them. I've never beaten them, whatnot. Other than some certain Sonic games, I never really gotten around to beating them. I'm just kind of, there are some video game genres that you're really bad at, and for me, platformers are those. But Astrobot, I had a lot of fun, and I really enjoyed the platforming, which I think just speaks to how great of a game and how amazingly designed this game is. And I can't wait to replay it and try platinum it because it was a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get back to it. Number 8, sorry, Marvel Rivals. This game just came out recently, and what are we doing? Thank you. This game just came out recently, and I'm not sure if it's too early to judge, but at the moment, I've been having fun with this game. I don't really play too many multiplayer games anymore, compared to old school Fortnite days or Apex and Overwatch back when it came out in 2016. I played that on launch. That was 8 years ago. Oh my god. That was 10. That was 10. Yeesh. But Marvel Rivals is just the fun that I've been looking for in a multiplayer game. A lot of multiplayer games that have come out recently just haven't impressed me on that much, and Marvel Rivals is the exception. This game has just been amazing. It's been so much fun. It's chaotic as hell, and people don't want to play supports for some reason. I had to insta-lock support because everybody else insta-locked DPS for whatever reason. Shout out Mantis. But overall, I just hope that they can keep this train going, keep adding fun characters, keep adding fun maps, and just overall making the game a great thing to come back to. I think that's my wish for the future. Please work with me. I can't do this right now. Thank you. Balatro, number 7. Yeah, man, this game was just addicting. I made a quick review on this. The same thing goes with a lot of other games on this list. Most games in the top 10 I have made a quick review on. Balatro was just addicting. The best way I could describe Balatro is, fun. It's like, haha, number go up, me have fun, right? I've been playing this game. I haven't been able to sleep the past couple of days. I've been having a lot of issues sleeping, and so just kind of get through that and killing time as well. I've been playing a lot more of this game than I was, early December and late November and whatnot. I've been playing a lot more, and it's great. It's a lot of fun. It's phenomenal. Still have yet to win or complete a run, but I'm gonna do it because I'm still having fun with it. As long as I'm still having fun with it, then I'm gonna keep playing it. Eventually we'll get one. Metaphor ReFantazio is a game that is that's frustrating to me because this is another game in which it's like a tale of two halves, where I think the first half of Metaphor is okay. There's some moments in like the first 10-20 hours of the game that I think are really, really good. But I think that first half of the game is just okay. I'm specifically talking about the story because I think the world building and lore, as well as the gameplay and just overall feel of the game, are perfect. It's really good. There is really good aspects. I just think the story is like a decent amount of it is like just Atlus's greatest hits with with the SMT and Persona and whatnot. But like even then, I feel like the story the story is definitely a lot of a does nothing news story, but with an Atlas twist, right? It's exactly what it is. The story doesn't do anything new, um, which works to its benefit and also kind of holds it back for me in a sense because of the fact that these are plot points that we've seen before in a variety of other forms of media, but with Atlas and them working on it and whatnot, there's like a tiny bit of a unique spin. Those plot points would be good, but at the same time, it's relatively easy to predict what's going to happen. Like this game's big plot twist with the main character and whatnot, I predicted like 10 to 15 hours in, because like, come on, dog, the character with two different color eyes is going to be special in some way, shape, or form, related to that one individual in some way, shape, or form. Like, come on, guys, let's be real. But like, you get to the second half of the game, and that's when the game kind of kicks into gear, especially with that, like, those scenes in that entire portion at Atterbury. I thought was really fun and kind of carried the end of the game, the second half of the game for me. That entire sequence was phenomenal, and it definitely made the game for me, in a sense. It definitely made the game, and I just wish I could love that first half of the story more, because it feels like I said, because it's stuff that you've seen before, or at least stuff that you might have seen before. It's predictable. Some of it is predictable, and it feels like a struggle. It's like the story is like a struggle to get through at times. And I feel like, yeah, if I just loved the first half of this game more, it'd definitely be like top 3 on this list. But because of that, it gets to number 6. The other Atlas game on this list, number 5, Shin Megami Tensei. Number 5, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance. Yeah, so a bit of extra context, bit of background. I played OG SMT5 day 1, pre-ordered it, played it, and I really enjoyed it. A lot of people hate OG SMT5, and after playing Vengeance, I completely understand now. But no, OG SMT5 was one of my favorite games that came out in 2021, right behind Forza Horizon 5 and Guardians of the Galaxy and Tales of Arise, even though I played that way later. This game is so much better in every way, shape, or form. Oh my god. I think it's just like more so the fact that, the gameplay hasn't really changed all that much. There's some new abilities, new demons, new things to play around with, new maps and whatnot. But overall, it's still like the same SMT5 that you know, except for the story. I'll tell you, this story is so much better. It's crazy how the jump that they went from SMT5 to SMT5 Vengeance. That jump is wild to me, because the story is so much better. You actually get some likable characters and character development. That's a lot of fun to go through and to witness. This entire story is just about vengeance, and it's dark and it is insane in so many different spots. There's so many different moments. I was like, oh my god, what's going on? Especially towards the end of the game. But man, I still have both the physical copies of SMT5 and SMT5 Vengeance, and the things I would do to never look at SMT5 again, OG SMT5 again. I can't wait to come back to this game, because it was just a lot of fun. It's something that I do think about often. It definitely left a lasting impression on me this year. Number 4, the biggest surprise on this list, a game that I fully did not expect to make it onto this list, especially so high. Indiana Jones and the Great Circle was magical. This game does for Indy what the Arkham games do for Batman, is the best way I can explain that. This is just, I don't know. It's just I think this is probably the most well-written game on this list. In a sense that, I probably couldn't have written it better. I always have to preface this or just give a bit of context before talking about writing, because people are always like, "You're not a like how could you do better? What would you know? What do you know about writing and whatnot?" You know, when you start critiquing writing and whatnot, it's a weird thing being on the internet. Um, I am a writer. I am in college. I'm an English major. I'm taking creative writing. So I do have a little bit of background in that not in that sphere. It's probably the most well written game on this list. Everything, I think the writing, everything is just perfect. Especially how they write indie, right? Indie is written phenomenally. It feels like it's just Harrison Ford, even though it's Troy Baker. Troy Baker does a really good Harrison Ford. It really just feels like it's Harrison Ford. He's written so well. Same with the other characters. The other characters are slouches. Especially the side character, Jim Lombardi. I think that's what his last name was. It's phenomenal side characters. Voss is a great villain. The voice actor performances were great, and then overall the gameplay I thought was really fun. Granted, I'm not familiar to this type of gameplay. I know people would compare it to like Dishonored and whatnot. For whatever reason, I'm not sure because I haven't played it. I do own Dishonored too, but I haven't played it. But I thought the gameplay was really fun, challenging at times, a little bit clunky at times, but nothing that took me out of it. The environments and graphics, even on the Xbox Series S, I thought were really well made and just fun to run around, fun to just look at. There are a lot of like pretty looking moments in this game that I enjoyed. I do love how they kind of mixed in some of the supernatural into this game rather than just sticking to realism the entire way. That was fun. Overall, Indiana Jones is a great game. Phenomenal. Go play it if you have an Xbox or a PC at the moment, and when it comes to PS5 in a couple of months, go play it because this is the biggest surprise of the year. Truly just a magical game in every sense of the word. Number 3 is Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth. From here on out, most of these games are just kind of perfect. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth is probably my favorite, if not second favorite, Yakuza game. It's up there with Kiwami for me. I'm not going to spend too long on this because this is a game that I played earlier this year, so I don't remember everything from it. But no, Infinite Wealth was just an enjoyable time. I played it on stream. All of it on stream. All 70-something hours of that game on stream. Enjoyable game. This is the best way I can put it. All the characters are fun. Granted, some of the characters do kind of get shafted, like Zhao and Zhu Gihan, because I'm pretty sure they were last-minute additions. Ooh, sorry. It feels like they weren't supposed to be in this game, but they were. But I digress. All the characters are fun to play. The story is fun, even though you can kind of see where it goes at times because of the names of the chapters and whatnot. Kiryu being back is great. I just think overall this is kind of like, the culmination of everything that RGG has done at this point, or up to this point. Simply just because, it's just like everything that they've done kind of put together into this one game with some epic moments, some great writing, great side content. Just overall, I think it's just like as a package, like story. How you feel about the game story aside, because there are some moments you're like, okay. Especially towards the end, you're like, all right. Overall, as a package, I think this is probably the best RGG game yet. And yeah, some of those moments, man, with Kiryu specifically, are so great, so good. Yeah, I love this game. Moving on, number 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, a game that I fully expected to be number 1 by the end of the year. Yeah, no, Rebirth's great. Rebirth is phenomenal. I think my one issue, not to dwell on this too much, my one issue with Rebirth, quite literally, is just, a lot of the side content is kind of okay. And I know we all criticize FF16 for having boring side content, and it does. FF16 side content isn't great. FF7 Rebirth side content isn't so much that... Sorry. I stayed up too late last night watching football. Commanders to the playoffs, baby. Let's go. But Re- Rebirth, Rebirth's side content isn't boring. It's not. There's a lot of it that's fun. The problem is there's so much of it compared to like 16, where 16 has a lot of side content and a decent amount of it's boring. I'd say about 50% of it is boring. 16 has some really good stuff, but 50% of it is boring. Seven Rebirth has so much more side content than 16, but there's so much of it that it's like, man, I can't be bothered. I just want to beat the game, right? Otherwise, a lot of the areas were really fun to explore. The characters are at their best in this game. These characters are written phenomenally. Combat is still really, really fun. And that ending, man, that ending made me feel a lot of things. And which is what I look for. I get in a game with a story like this, or just games with story in general. I need these games to make me feel something. As long as a game can make me feel some sort of way, some kind of emotion, or a multitude of emotions. A multitude of emotions also works. I am happy. That's all I look for, because those are what stories are for. Stories are, are there to make you feel something. That's why I love stories. Stories are there to make you feel something, to compare it to your own life, or for escapism. But a decent amount of them can connect back to the real world and to your own life, and allow you to think deeper on a variety of different things. And so, because of that, Rebirth, up until mid-October, was my game of the year. And then a certain game that I can't really talk about all that much came out and kind of blew Rebirth out of the water in a sense. It was still very hard to decide on this being number one or not. But ultimately, I went with this. Number one is The Legend of Heroes, Kai no Kiseki, Farewell to Maria. Oh my god, my throat. Kai no Kiseki, Farewell to Maria. I actually can't really talk about this game that much because it's only out in Japan at the moment. Originally, I was going to have the physical delivered to me, but I decided against that and did another thing, which ended up working out really well for me. Kai no Kiseki is my second favorite Trails game at this point. It's great. Take everything that I said about Infinite Wealth and apply it to this game, in which it's like, as a package, the culmination of just about everything Falcom has done with Trails at this point. It's the best way I can explain that. The story is great. A lot of the characters are fun to play. A lot of the character writing is great. This game has a lot of insane moments, hype moments that I love, especially that ending. Man, I'm still depressed because this is the only game this year. The only game, no, because I played Cold Steel 4 last year. This is the only game this year that made me cry over a character that I don't like. Nonetheless, I don't like the character. It's like, if you play the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Over a character that I'm not a fan of, right? And then, of course, the last 2 hours of Kai no Kiseki is like some of the most insane things I've seen in a video game in a while. It's crazy, and the fact that he chose to end it like that is crazy. I can't wait to see Kai no Kiseki too. Yeah, I want to leave it at that before I end up spoiling something. So yeah, that is my top 10 games of 2024. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. It was a great year for games, and ideally, it looks like 2025 is going to be better. So I'm very excited. Thanks for watching. See ya, and bye.